Ask yourself the damn question. Is winning the only thing to you?
Sports today are not just played on the field. They're played every day, online, all over the world, by sports fans just like you.
Don't you dare dream. That won't get you anywhere. If you don't think you're a winner, you don't belong here.
The Star Fantasy League Show puts you in control of your own team. Find out who to sit, who to start, how to play, and have your daily fantasy sports questions answered with your host, Jonathan Sprung, and co-host SFL CEO Zach Stanley and Nick Steblenko. The Star Fantasy League Show is on the air now.
Hello and welcome to the Star Fantasy League Show here on 105.5 The Team in Rochester. I am Jonathan Sprung, your host, joined, as always, by Nick Steblenko. Teddy Bear 2, what's up, Nick?
How's it going, John?
It's not going too bad. I had a nice, long Memorial Day weekend. We didn't get to have a show on Monday, but that's because we were all having some fun, right?
I hope you had a nice Memorial Day weekend. I did too, other than the fact that I got eked out on Friday.
I believe I was not going to bring that. Yeah, of course I was going to bring that up.
Of course you're going to bring it up. Why wouldn't you bring it up?
On the Star Fantasy League Show, Nick and I have a nice little competition going for every sport that happens on StarFantasyLeagues.com, and I believe I eked out a 0.7-point win on Friday.
You know, I was in a place where I didn't have any internet service, any TV or anything, so it was kind of a nice little retreat for the weekend. But then I had to come back to that poor, terrible news that I lost by, 3/4 of a point? That's not something right. I wanted to come back to.
And so. You know what happened over the weekend? As always, SFL family member Jason Gringer beat me horribly in baseball. That's what you do, Jason.
I try.
No, you don't try. You just dominate me every single. Okay,
all right, I dominate.
Yeah, there you go. Every day over the weekend, I didn't have time to set my lineups and then watch them, which is what you do with late swaps. So I put my lineups in. I loved them, and then 2 of my pitchers got scratched over the weekend, and I still had good scores. So if that happens, you're just not going to win ever.
Yeah, that's just unfortunate. That's not fair.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of the whole, oh, look, he's playing. Oh, look, he's gone.
Well, there's got to be a way to mitigate that possibility, really. There has to. I mean, I know you can monitor it up to the second, but, I mean, come on. Like, these last-minute switches.
Well, the better way to do it is to if the games start at 7, you pick players from those games, and you watch it right up until close. Because if you pick a 9 o'clock game and you leave at 7:15, you don't have the shot of putting in a late swap player.
I mean, imagine if you had tickets to that game. Let's say you got a great game, like when Leicester pitched against Sale. Was that what it was, or something? If you got those two, you get those two pitchers going up. You're so excited to go to the game. You're ready to go, and then all of a sudden you get to the stadium and you find out that John Lester broke his pinky nail, and
Felix Dubront's forced to go.
Yeah, I would be. Come on, you can't even give those tickets away now.
I would say if it turns out to be Dubront versus Noesi, we're in trouble. Well, you get to see a lot of offense. That's nice.
Yeah, maybe.
A lot of offense.
Well, yeah, you should, but Sox got lucky, but they came back.
Hey,
nice.
We finally broke out of we get to shave our beards of not, seeing a win for the Red Sox.
And do we get rid of Clay Buchholz now? Can we get rid of him?
I don't know.
Something's got to be done. He's bad. He is atrocious.
Okay, what are you gonna do when 3/5 of our rotation is just awful?
Well, I would say
bad.
2. I mean, Dubron and Buchholz need to go.
They're really bad.
You can't really blame it on the rotation, though. I mean, their offense is.
You can't blame 8 walks yesterday on Clay Buchholz.
You can't put it all on.
I can put a lot on him. That was a career high. That was a terrible game of.
All right, you know what we've done today? We've spent a lot of time in the intro of the show talking about starting pitching. It's a really, really pivotal part. You only get 4 pitchers on StarFantasyLeagues.com for daily fantasy baseball. And you get a bunch of hitters. But if you don't get the right pitchers in there, you are dead from the get-go. And on Monday, I guess it's Tuesday. It's Tuesday, isn't it?
It is Tuesday.
I always do this. It happens every day. Tuesday, we have 15 full games. The whole Major League, they're all playing. And we have a lot of elite pitchers going. So what we decided to do today is we're doing a pitcher tier breakdown. We have 4 different tiers. We have all the pitchers spread out across those 4 tiers. And we're going to pick you our favorite pitcher from each tier, and we're going to break them all down. How about that, guys?
It's really nice because, I mean, over the course of the season, you've gotten to see some of these pitchers fall into a groove, fall into a pattern, and on StarFantasyLeagues.com, their salaries have actually sort of solidified. They've kind of gotten them into a place where you're going to see them pretty frequently. So it's nice. You get to see them by price and see which guys you would be able to take at certain prices. It's really nice. Today's a good one. You get a full slate. So
all right, so let's get right to it. We're going to start at the bottom with the value or bust category. These are guys that are pretty inexpensive, and honestly, you need some pretty big productivity from because it's either that or minus like 3.75.
I mean, these are the type of guys that you might be taking in a guaranteed prize pool GPP tournament only if you have a really good feeling and maybe you're even kind of living on a prayer there just a little bit. So,
or if you want to fit a lot of big bats into your lineup.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, there's a couple of guys out there that you would just probably steer clear from altogether.
Yeah, let's go through this list and tell me who you even are considering, and we'll tell you why we're considering it. The list is Wade Miley, Justin Masterson, Edinson Volquez, Jeremy Guthrie, David Phelps, Eric Stultz, and Blake Treinen, who we still don't know if that's his actual name.
Treinen.
Who the heck knows?
Something along those lines. There's two names out of here that jump out to me in as guys that you might actually take. I'll start with Justin Masterson, though. He really should be pitching better than the numbers have said. He has a 5.32 ERA, and his xFIP is 3.96. So really, he should be coming down a little bit. Does okay in strikeouts. He walks a few too many guys.
Yeah, he walks way too many guys.
Yeah, I mean, I think that if he starts to get that number down, he would be worth it. At 8,000, though, I would reach down a little further.
Well, the good thing is Chicago strikes out the third most in the major leagues, which is a plus number from. He's not the best strikeout pitcher. He's on the upper third of pitchers, though. That definitely helps. And the fact that he's almost at 60% ground balls, that means he's probably getting a little bit unlucky that his ERA is that high.
Yeah. I would agree there. I mean, that's important for him to be putting the ball on the ground like that, though.
Yeah, he's actually at the bottom of my list.
Really?
As the
you think
one
he's
guy
like the last?
I'm staying away from
Absolutely
today.
Wouldn't touch him at all?
Bottom of the barrel today for me.
Are you serious?
He wasn't on my list either, to be fair. Who are you on for a value or bust guy?
The one guy I'd consider is Blake Treinen for Washington going against the Marlins. Washington's at home. Marlins are pretty awful on the road. They've been killing it at home. They take it on the road, haven't been as great. He's the one guy I'd consider, possibly Edinson Volquez.
Oh, yeah.
Let's get out of here.
Volquez is the guy on my list. I wanted to say that. He's going up against the Mets, 28th against righties. They strike out the 7th most in the majors. He seems to just be getting a little bit unlucky despite the fact that he's looked like garbage.
He is garbage. I don't understand how you're even considering this. I think he's one of those pitchers you don't touch for any reason.
I mean...
No, he's going up against the Mets. And the Mets cannot hit right-hand pitching. Volquez had I wouldn't call it a great start, but he had a good start last time out on the mound. I think he could do decent today.
I think you're going to see 2 home runs in this game. The guy gives up so many home runs, it's ridiculous.
I am with Jason on this. I am all over Edinson Volquez. All right, let's move up to the other second tier. I don't know. We're going backwards here.
Third tier?
Yeah, this
tier
is
3.
Tier 3. We're going back to front. This tier includes Colin McHugh, Roenis Elias, Jorge De La Rosa, Jake Arrieta, Henderson Alvarez, Wei Yin Chen, and Matt Garza. I don't like this group, at all. This group doesn't interest me. I wrote down one guy because he's been my savior all season. I picked him for value pitcher of the day twice now, and that's Elias. We don't know if his name is Elias, Elias, Elias. Who the hell?
Roenis.
He's Cuban.
Something like that.
Yeah, thank you. Of course he's Cuban. Every pitcher in the major leagues right now is probably Cuban. I just assume. Or Dominican.
He's not horrible, but he's not flashy either, and I think that's kind of why you look at this group and you're like, maybe it depends on the matchup.
His
not
matchup,
tonight.
His
with
matchup
15
does.
games.
I mean, his matchup does suck. He's going up against the Angels. It is in Seattle. I like him at home, but I mean, like you said, nothing flashy. Eight strikeouts per 9. He walks a lot of people. He could get in trouble against these Angels' big bats. Everybody else on this list just makes me angry.
Yeah, I'm not high on anybody on this list, really. I will tell you one guy I'm going to be stacking against is Wei Yin Chen. I'm going to be putting a lot of Brewers bats in my lineup tonight. They have a ton of right-handed batters. I think you're going to see a couple home runs for the Brewers tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I would look even further down. I would say Matt Garza's actually been pitching better. I mean, at 8,900, you got to say, is he going to step it up? I think he would step up into the 10,000, 11,000 range. He's got some pretty solid numbers. So, I mean, his value should continue to increase. The other guy, though, that I was looking at is Colin McHugh. He's actually been a surprise. 3.32 ERA, and it's pretty consistent with his xFIP. So, I mean, he really should be worth the price if the matchup is right.
All right, so we're moving up a little bit to Tier 2. We got Hudson, Weaver, Alex Cobb, Mark Burley, Aaron Harang, Alfredo Simon, who the heck knows? Phil Hughes, Lance Lynn, Cole Hamels, and John Neese, because he spells his name Jonathan horribly wrong with an O. Awful. All right,
Do you take offense to that?
Yeah, I really do, actually. All right, who do we like on this list? I am in love with Tim Hudson. Got scratched from he got moved up from his last start. Cubs strike out second most in the majors. That's my major thing. He doesn't strike out that many, but I think that number's a little bit skewed because he hasn't played that much.
I don't know. I feel like he should be regressing.
Well, the two guys I'm rostering from this tier are Tim Hudson, and I love Phil Hughes tonight. even though he's going up against you, Darvish, he has been great this year.
Yeah, what a surprise out of him.
Yeah.
And that team in general, right? They should have been, really bad.
Yeah.
See, I feel like the guys at the bottom of this list should be more towards the top. Phil Hughes, Lance Lynn, and even Cole Hamels should all be on the rise. I think they've been pretty consistent, and I think they've actually shown that they have the potential to continue to grow.
Cole Hamels is going up against Colorado. Do not ever touch him.
Okay.
Bad boy.
Fair. Fine. Fair for tonight.
I wouldn't touch anybody in that game.
Fine. Fair for tonight, but he's actually been really good as of late, and he should continue to get better. So maybe not tonight, but in the future.
Who are you picking from this tier? Who's your guy?
I would take Lance Lynn. I think he's got the most consistency at the price. I think that he's right on at 13,000.
And you're on Phil Hughes.
I'm on Phil Hughes.
And I'm on
Surprise
Samantha.
pick could be Mark Burley.
Ooh, interesting.
I just don't know how to read Burley. I just don't get it. How is he? What is he? 8-1?
He's all over the place.
It does not make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
Going up against Alex Cobb, who's also been
I'm
pretty
waiting
okay.
for him to blow up.
All right, top tier, the aces, Chris Sale, Yu Darvish, Max Scherzer, Zach Greinke, Sonny Gray, and John Lester. Most of these guys seem to be going against each other on Tuesday. Mm-hmm. It's a weird thing to have. So I don't really want to pick anybody that's going against another ace just in case that's going to be a kind of a low-scoring pain in the ass game. You might just lose. One-run game. Not fun.
I think when you look at this group, you know the price difference between Sale and Lester is around 4,000. I really think that the value you're going to get with John Lester is well worth it. I mean, his strikeout numbers are almost the same as Sale. His walk numbers are almost the same as Sale. He's the only top-tier pitcher with a drop from his ERA to his XFIP. And really, I mean, out of those, 6 guys, his defense is actually the best behind him. It's not
Atlanta
great,
confuses
but it's the best
me.
out of those.
Atlanta confuses me. They strike out the highest percentage in the league, but they're also the best team against lefties. So which number do you really look at there? It's a little confusing. I love Chris Sale. Chris Sale is just a beast. I'm riding him until he shows me I shouldn't.
I would just rather save $4,000 and spend it on somebody else.
I'm looking at Zach Greinke going up against Cincinnati tonight. You saw what Ryu did last night against Cincinnati. He had a perfect game through 7 innings. I think Greinke's kind of under the radar in this group tonight.
I mean, Greinke's been great all season. You know, let's not get that wrong. He's a great strikeout pitcher. He goes deep into just about every game. So, I mean, you're really not going to be missing anything there. When I look at this group, I'm just like, you know, you have to figure out a way to save some money. You know, if you're going to spend on a top-tier pitcher like this, you have to figure out where am I going to get the consistent value return. And I just feel like if you're looking at that, the numbers for Lester are very similar to everybody else's. He's just been a hard luck pitcher. He's 4-6, and the Red Sox need to get things going, especially when you're trying to turn it around. Tonight would be the night.
Every night seems to be the night they need to turn it around. They're just losing. They lose. They continue
they won
to lose.
yesterday, and I think they're going to blow them out tonight.
All right, we just recapped every single pitcher that's going on Star Fantasy Leagues for Tuesday. Coming up after the break, I believe it's a certain time. It's time for John Olt's Mailbag.
Mailbag?
And you're listening to the Star Fantasy League show on 105.5 The Team.
The Star Fantasy League Show. Information is key to being a successful fantasy team owner, and the guys have all the updated info you need right now. Okay, fantasy sports fans.
There's a letter in your mailbox.
Time to dig into Donald's mailbag for your questions and comments.
Read the mail, read the mail, read the mail.
Jump in the game. Send your questions and comments to the Star Fantasy League's team by tweeting at SFL Show.
Welcome back to the Star Fantasy League show here on 105.5 The Team.
Talking head, John Old, you need to no.
You know
just
what?
No.
We haven't been on the air since Friday. We missed Monday for Memorial Day. Thank you to all our veterans, all that good stuff. But I missed being on the air, so I needed to bring back Talking Head Jonald for 5 seconds. I'm sorry.
Well, that's all you get.
So, you know what? Zach's not here to be Talking Head Zach, so I'm a little uncomfortable right now. I don't know what to do. I can't just talk like that for no reason.
Well, you seem to be.
Yeah, that's probably right.
You're just figuring out a way to throw it in there.
Yeah, that sounds about right. It is time for Jonald's mailbag, so it is my time to kind of just do whatever the heck I want.
To goof off and let everybody else do all the work. Yeah.
Wow.
You would.
That's so depressing.
You would do that.
All right, if you want to tell me what a terrible job I'm doing for all of my Talking Head Jonald time, just tweet us at SFL Show. If you think Nick should stop just yelling at me the whole show, at SFL Show. Tweet us.
What, do you feel uncomfortable? I put you back on your heels? Is that what happened?
I'm a little uncomfortable.
Yeah, what's up?
I'm gonna remind our listeners.
Really not that hard.
Yeah, I'm gonna remind our listeners that I won the last contest between you and I. So I'm on a high note right now.
Boo.
That's right. How do you feel? You
I
probably feel fine, don't you?
I feel nothing.
Alrighty, good thing Jason's not in this competition because I would be 0-57. It's not good.
We can start that up if you want.
Nope, no, thank you. You're the closer. Remember, you only come in. You only come in once every couple weeks, and you're fine.
Yeah, don't start being one of those closers that comes in and is like, yeah, no, I really should be a starter, but I'm just going to fill my role for now. Come on now.
All right,
we all know how that turns out.
Yeah, that doesn't end well at
who
all.
Was it? Wait, who was it for the Sox that did that?
Papelbon tried to go into the rotation.
Yeah, he did, but who was the other guy? He was like a setup guy.
Bard?
100. Bard, yeah.
Danny Bard. Oh, my God. Yeah, where's he right now? Oops.
They really messed him up.
They messed up Justin Masters by trading him, too.
Oh, yeah, I thought
he was good for a while, and then gone.
Oh, well.
Good job, Red Sox. Where's your rotation at? Nothing. Terrible. All right,
World Series champion winning rotation.
We gotta stop being so depressed about the Red Sox. We just won a World Series.
Josh Beckett, no hitter.
Yeah, come on now.
Yeah, we forgot to talk about that.
No, we're not talking about Josh Beckett. He's no longer on the Red Sox. Shh.
Hey, listen, he can have a good, he can have a little bone. We can toss him a bone every once in a while.
He was so excited. He's like, I didn't even know I could do this. It was really funny to watch.
And then he went back and had a beer and ate some chicken.
He probably did that before the game too. Let's be fair. He just continued his party.
And in between every inning as well.
Ooh, wow. He's looking at it. It's probably true. All right,
I thought we were bashing him here. What am I on the train by myself now?
Yep, you are on the train to Nowheresville. All right, let's get into John L's mailbag. Jody D writes, Serge Ibaka made a surprising return in Game 3 and helped lead the Thunder to a much-needed victory. Is this a completely different series now that Ibaka is back? What a miraculous return. He's ruled out for the whole playoffs.
You really want to call it miraculous?
Okay. Okay. I hate when they say he's out for the playoffs, like guarantee he's not going to play. And then all of a sudden it's like, no, he's here. Like,
no, come on. I
3 days later.
You have to say, hats off to them for giving it a shot, but I don't know many people that really believe that Ibaka was out for the playoffs. Any player is capable of coming back when the season is on the line. Not any player, but you know what I mean. If the injury really wasn't that bad to begin with, I don't know. It certainly helps them, though. I mean, it gives them another piece. I just don't think that was the be-all, end-all reason that they were going to have a chance to win this series.
Well, he had 15 points, 7 boards, 4 blocks, 30 minutes played. The thing it does is San Antonio can't go small now. They can't play small ball. They've got to throw another big in there. It definitely changes up the series quite a bit, I think.
Certainly does.
Yeah.
No, you're absolutely right.
And the Thunder did something interesting. They finally Perkins, obviously foul trouble, that's kind of his MO, but they finally said, you know what, screw it. We're not going to play. He played 13 minutes in this game. I think that's actually a big part of winning a series, is not playing Kendrick Perkins
well, what did he
at
do?
all.
He went in there and he just hacked
hacks people.
That's probably the perfect utilization for him when you have Ibaka in your lineup.
Yeah, but I don't think he means to do that. He ends up hacking people.
He's a physical player. I mean, you have to go out there and use up your fouls when you're a physical player.
Well, what I'm saying is the combination of Steven Adams and Serge Ibaka, they combined for 8 blocks in Game 3. That's a monster stat. Obviously, they're clogging up the paint. They're getting to balls, loose balls, all that stuff. I mean, Steven Adams is a completely different player than Kendrick Perkins. They both have the mean streak type thing, but Adams does a lot more than Perk at this point.
Yeah, he's kind of having a little coming out party here in the playoffs the last few games.
Yeah, the last couple series he has been great.
Yeah.
Playing big. Usually you see rookies when you get into the playoffs, you have a 7-8 man rotation. They usually get the garbage minutes at the end, maybe end of the second half to get some minutes. He's getting 20-30 minutes in some of these deep playoff games.
I mean, I think it's important for them to keep using him though, because if you use his youth and his size, like Jason said, they can't go small the whole way, and that's an important piece to take away from San Antonio.
Yeah, I think honestly they have to slow it down. This game was significantly
Thunder?
less. Yes, Thunder to win the game need to slow it down a little bit. Go to your bigs, bang inside, because if you can get Timmy Duncan a little bit thrown off his game, maybe that helps slow down the pace of the San Antonio Spurs.
I got to be honest, I don't know if that's possible though.
I mean,
can you really throw that guy off his game?
No, but I'm saying throw the whole system
Through
off,
the
because
system?
they want to run. They want to play small-ish. That's why Boris Diaw plays so many damn minutes on that team. I mean, he's not small by
He's small
definition.
but by the prototypical center, he's absolutely small. You're right.
But he's a very rotund man, so he's not small by any meaning of the word.
So
How is he
polite.
still? I can't believe he's still a viable center option for that team.
I mean, Popovich can take just about anybody and make him
plays
viable.
well.
That's true.
It's interesting. I want to see what Game 4 looks like in this series, because if Oklahoma City wins convincingly like they did last night, this could be a really interesting series out of left field, because we thought it was pretty much over.
Well,
It looked really bad
You're
in
right.
the first 2 games.
You're right.
All right, let's move on. Question for you. Brad R. writes, the Rangers and Kings jumped out to 3-1 series leads over Memorial Day weekend. What chances do you give the Blackhawks or the Canadiens to turn things around before it's too late? Are you going to cry a little bit, Jason?
I noticed you had a little Rochester accent going there when you said Blackhawks. You had the Rochester
I did?
Yeah.
Blackhawks.
I think you're slowly transforming.
I think
into
I've
a
always said the word Blackhawks like that. That's not a new
Anyways.
thing.
There's a slight. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Just a
see,
little-
we were
little-
talking
little-
a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. You're turning into a Rochesterian, Donald, slowly but surely.
And I'm going to jump out the window. See you later, guys.
I think the Blackhawks have a much better shot at coming back in their series than the Canadiens do. Unfortunately, you're just dealing with a young goalie. You can't love their odds in that situation. Montreal is playing fine. They're certainly coming out and they're going hard. Henrik Lundqvist he's on a cruise or a crash course for a Conn Smythe if they end up winning the Stanley Cup. He's playing out of his mind. They're playing very well defensively. You gotta say I would say the Blackhawks just have more offensive firepower. They have a goalie who needs to play a little bit better on the road, but I think they have a better shot.
Yeah, Montreal, they look just tired out there. I think they're done. Blackhawks, hate to say it, they're probably done. My playoff beard's on life support.
Your playoff beard was on life support since you started growing it.
I wouldn't count them out just yet.
I'm not counting them out, but the Kings, they're just playing amazing.
Aren't they?
On special teams, defense, they're really clogging up the middle. The Blackhawks are really going to have to come out hard at home for Game 5. They've got a chance. They did it last year against Detroit. They came back. They were down 3-1. I'm not going to count them out, but it's looking rough out there.
I would say Chicago takes Game 5. We'll see where things go from there. Let's see how Game 5 develops. And then going back into L.A., Corey Crawford needs to have the game of his playoff career and shut them down.
My play of the night is Crawford. I sound like you, Nick.
Well, it should be.
I know every day ever you pick Corey Crawford.
Yeah,
It's
Crawford.
really funny.
Corey Crawford.
Crawford?
Yeah, Crawford.
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 Sorry, Crawford. I'll talk like my Boston accent.
Okay.
You don't want me talking like that.
Well, so you have to actually work at it. You have to try.
I gotta pack.
Because
pack
now the Rochester accent comes second nature.
Actually, the funny thing is I never had a Boston accent.
No?
I lived there for 20 years.
You're going to have a
never had
Rochester one.
Great. All right. Donnie M. writes, Lance Stevenson opened his mouth about LeBron James in the media before Game 4, and
Dumb.
James responded with a monster outing. Why on earth would the Pacers poke the bear?
No, why? That's a great
Why?
question.
Who
Why
pokes
would
the bear?
you do that? There's no need to do that. This game has enough media attention around it. There's so many storylines. Why add another one? That was the dumbest thing I think anyone from that team could have done.
If you ask anybody who doesn't know anything about sports, if you trash talk the best player on the opposing team, what is the best player on the opposing team going to do?
They're going to show you what's
They're
good.
going to destroy you.
Well, wait a minute. Indiana did outplay Miami in this game,
Last night.
according to Paul George.
I was like, wait a minute. It's like, where are we going with this story? Because it didn't happen on paper. It didn't happen in the actual game.
No.
Did you see that where he said that they outplayed Miami in his press conference at the end of the game?
I don't listen to Paul George.
No, let me tell you something. You guys didn't outplay anybody that
They
game.
didn't lead at all the whole game.
Always constantly behind. Really, honestly, if it wasn't for Paul George and David West, that team wouldn't have had a shot.
They didn't
just
have a
put,
shot.
They put that team right on their back. No, but I'm saying that consistently the spread of the game just kept getting bigger, and then these two would just come back, find a way to get a bucket, and they would keep them like going into the half. Going into the half, they kept it to 5 points because David West, I think, right? David West made that shot, right? You know, the two of them have been carrying this team consistently throughout the playoffs. They can't keep doing that. They have to figure out a way to spread the ball around. And Lance Stevenson, why don't you shut up and actually play hard?
Yeah, so we have to talk.
Your
hold
game
on.
one was it.
The quote before Game 3 was a trash talk from LeBron was a sign of weakness, which everybody trash talks. So it doesn't matter. It's just a thing.
Yeah.
And then
also, Michael Jordan was the weakest player in the game.
Hold on. After the game, and I quote, "I have no regrets about the trash talking." Like,
Okay, well,
you just
have
got
to say
shown up.
that. You have to say that now.
Well, apparently it was home cooking for Miami, getting all those foul calls as well.
Okay, yeah. Well, hold on. What was the discrepancy? I'm pretty sure it was enormous.
It was like they had Miami had 34.
It was exactly double. It was 34 to 17. I mean, what do you expect out of these two
Paul
teams?
George
though?
tried to blame it on the refs as well.
Oh, get out of here. But you know what? Let's see who we should blame it on. Lance Stevenson opens his mouth and then follows it up by posting a 3-for-7 shooting game, 9 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. Okay, whatever. That's terrible for a guy who should be the second or third best player on the team. But let's talk about how this team lives and dies by Hibbert. Mm-hmm. And Roy Hibbert threw up, I believe it's a bagel. He threw up a gigantic bagel in a Game 4, a do-or-die game in the playoffs.
Big old goose egg.
You can't do that. That's just not acceptable. It's really not.
Wait, hold on, Nick. That's not acceptable
It's
to
not
put up
acceptable.
0 points from your center.
Well, if you're Jan Mahimi, you could do that.
Well, he's a
but-
backup. Come on.
Exactly.
now.
That's when it's
Hold on.
acceptable
Hold
to
on.
have 0.
Jan Mahimni in Game 4, 5 points. Roy Hibbert, 0 points.
I just don't get it. This guy's been so up and down. We thought he came back. We thought he was gone. It's what are you going to do?
We've said it
Backs
multiple.
against the wall. What are you going to do?
We've said it multiple times. The Indiana Pacers are at their best when they run their offense through Roy Hibbert.
Yep.
Not Paul George, not David West, not Lance Stevenson. Get the ball down inside. Let Roy Hibbert create. Kick it out.
From the beginning, right from the beginning, they need to go to him. That's what they did when they got him back into action. That's when they got him back in the flow of the game. Feed him inside. Once he starts doing his thing, everything else opens up. It just does.
You kind of look at the other side of the ball. Miami started out feeding Chris Bosh.
Oh, yeah. He was
got
on
a great
fire.
start.
He got his points early. He got involved. Usually when he gets involved in the game early, that helps him. He's one of those guys that if you don't get him going, he's kind of like lackadaisical, like hanging around.
Yep.
Please, feed Roy Hibbert the ball, people. All
Give
right.
him the rock.
Yeah, coming up after the break, we are breaking down everything baseball on Wednesday on StarFantasyLeagues.com. And you're listening to the Star Fantasy League Show on 105.5 The Team.
Play fantasy sports for cash prizes. Join the top daily and weekly fantasy leagues in the country at StarFantasyLeagues.com. Now, back to the Star Fantasy League Show with Jonathan, Zach, and Nick. Only on The Team.
For some reason, voiceover guy doesn't understand the role of a closer. We're here on the Star Fantasy League Show with Jonathan, Nick, and Jason. Not Zach. No.
I am not Zach.
No, correct. No, you're not Zach. Zach can't grow a playoff beard like that. Come on now.
It's kind of funny watching him try.
Yeah,
It
that's
is.
true. I can't grow a beard. I look like
Neither
a
do
12-year-old.
I can't either.
I wouldn't call this a beard either. But
Well, it's patchy.
Still
and-
going.
Yeah.
You're still getting some. Yeah,
hanging in there.
You're carrying it pretty well here.
Hopefully it doesn't die so we get to see some more playoff hockey because, come on, the world is better when there's playoff hockey going on.
that is true.
It's very true. All right, let's move right along to Wednesday on StarFantasyLeagues.com. We got a lot of baseball going on. Actually, you know what? It's not as much as Tuesday. Tuesday, 15 games. Wednesday, only 12 games to talk about starting at 7:05.
No.
I know. Oh, no, there's only 3 less games to talk about. But we talked about how many we broke down at the beginning of the show all of the great pitchers. There were so many elite pitchers going. I feel like Wednesday is just like a slap in the face. There's a lot of new guys going, a lot of like guys from the bullpen starting. There's just a lot of weird stuff going on.
Yeah. There's a couple of guys that maybe 1-2 starts under their belt, so there's not a lot of data to go off of.
And not only that, but if you look back a little further in a couple of these guys, they're like kind of journeyman type players, and a lot of them are not very good, which bodes well for hitters on Wednesday night.
Yeah, I could only find like 3 or 4 pitchers I kind of liked.
Yeah, I have 2, and then the obvious couple that are the elite guys. You know what? Let's start with the elite guys. Say who you like, who we don't like. Let's start with C.J. Wilson and Felix Hernandez. Angels at Seattle. Obviously, both of these guys are within they're within the same range, around $1,000. High salaries. Do you like picking either pitcher against one another? We've talked about this before. This is one of those matchups. It's 2 guys. They both like to strike out a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really not convinced that you wouldn't want to take both of these guys in the same game, other than the fact that their price is pretty high, because you can still get a lot of points regardless of whether or not they get the win. I mean, a win or a loss really doesn't kill you either way, but if they're striking guys out, they could be worth more in value than a lot of these pitchers out there.
Yeah, I think on StarFantasyLeagues.com, you get like 1.75 points for a win. It's not a huge deal breaker.
It's nice. It's a nice little added bonus, but it's not going to kill you if you don't get the win. Especially, and the reason that we do something like that is because a guy can go deep into a game, have the lead, and then his bullpen blows it.
That is very.
That's not worthy of a loss.
All right, so let's talk about this game specifically. If you have to only take one, who are you taking?
King Felix.
Gotta
Really?
go with the king.
He's a king for a reason.
Tell me why, because I'm looking at the numbers here. I'm looking at 27th against lefties for Seattle, and I'm looking at the 10th most strikeouts in the league for Seattle. That would lead me to believe that C.J. Wilson is the play here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably not going to roster either of these guys tomorrow.
Okay, yeah. I mean, honestly, neither of them are listed on my sheet of top pitchers, but I'm just wondering, if you have to only select a top guy,
yeah, it's tough to go against the king. I know Seattle's got a ton of lefties in their lineup. I don't mind Wilson either, just for that fact. And the Angels kind of beat up a little bit on Hernandez earlier this year.
I just think that there are some guys that are nearly matchup proof, and I would put King Felix in that category. I really would. I know, like you said, I know he might have gotten beat up against the Angels earlier this season, but I don't think you're going to see that consistently over the course of his career. It's not like, oh no, here come the Angels, let's avoid Hernandez altogether.
No,
he's still got he's got his control. He's got a great slew of pitches. He's just one of those guys I don't think you can really miss too often on him.
And at home he dominates. So
yeah, it's a nice place to pitch. That's
Something
another
about
reason why I
home
like
cooking.
Wilson, because Seattle is a nice little place for pitchers to pitch.
yeah,
I think both guys are worth a look at least.
All right, let's talk about another pitcher I think you guys might like, but I'm not sure. Cincinnati at L.A., Dodgers, not Angels, obviously. Homer Bailey and Clayton Kershaw. You guys are on Bailey, right? You love Bailey? Oh, you don't love Homer Bailey? Oh,
All
sorry.
over Clayton Bailey. That's his name, right?
Yes, Clayton Bailey Kershaw.
Clayton
Sure, why not?
Kershaw is, I think, a must-play tomorrow.
yeah,
I really do.
He's my play of the day.
He has to
Not
be.
gonna lie.
His price is so much lower, and the amount of production that you're going to get. Really, his price should be up near like 18, 19,000. Right now, it's
He's
at
around
14.6.
yeah, close to 15. Yeah.
So I mean, he had a bad game that really factored in. He was injured, so there's not a lot of stats. I think right now this is the best time to take him.
Yeah, he had a great bounce back start against Philly. He went 6 innings, only allowed 2 hits, struck out 9 guys.
He was dominant.
Yeah.
Back to his old self.
And everything's playing. The matchup is perfect for him. Cincinnati's 30th against lefties in the league. I think a lot of your players are going to come from this game. Not only are you picking Kershaw, I think you're stacking the LA Dodgers, right? Homer Bailey has been – I don't understand, like, people are so high. Like, Vegas is sort of high on Homer Bailey still. They kind of, like, they're hanging on to him. He is really bad.
Yeah, I mean, he did do okay against St. Louis last time out. It wasn't a great start, but it wasn't a horrendous start either way. I still think you should pick against them. I just think the Dodgers have a great slew of lefties.
I would stack almost anybody that's a switch or lefty on this team.
I would also remember Matt Kemp he was sat by Mattingly due to poor play. So now you have a nice value start in Andre Ethier if he actually gets the call. He's at around a little over 4,000. So
yeah,
I think the Dodgers are a
don't
great
forget
stack.
with these late games. Wait until this because we do offer late swaps on StarFantasyLeagues.com. If you got somebody in the lineup, make sure you're checking out their actual lineup before this game starts. Usually comes out a couple hours before game time.
Yep.
So you'll be fine. But yeah, like we said, stack LA Dodgers, please. All right, let's talk about some of these young guys that are going, or journeymen or whatever. 2 of them are facing off, San Diego and Arizona. Stouffer against Anderson. Stouffer has 1 start. Anderson has 2 this season. I'm assuming we're looking at some hitters, but both teams are not good against righties, 30th and 22nd.
I think it's safe to just avoid this game.
Yeah, because, I mean, usually you see 2 guys like this with not solid numbers. I mean, Stouffer has okay numbers, but 1 start. Again, we can't really use that as gospel. But, yeah, if you see 30th and 22nd in the league, you don't want to go out and go, well, it's a bad pitcher, but the team is bad.
Yeah, Stouffer, he's into the rotation now. He was a reliever. He had a great game, but that was against the Cubs in San Diego.
Yeah.
You can't really put a ton on that. Anderson, he's been hit or miss.
Exactly.
But
yeah,
I'm just avoiding this game tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't hesitate to kind of avoid games, especially when you see such low numbers for hitters.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing that jumps off, though, is you see those prices for those pitchers, and you're like, man, I should just start looking at batters there.
But, yeah, then nothing.
Neither of these teams have batters other than maybe like Paul Goldschmidt because he's
Paul Goldschmidt?
Goldschmidt.
Because he's Paul Goldschmidt, there you go.
But, I mean, even still, he's up in the 8,000 range, and you just don't want to go and risk it on a team like Arizona right now.
All right, let's move on to Texas and Minnesota. Again, another one of these guys, Joe Saunders, made 1 start this season going up against Kyle Gibson, who has not been good whatsoever. I love the stat here. Joe Saunders in his 1 start is averaging the same ERA as he has strikeouts per 9. That's kind of fun.
Yeah,
right? That's
fun.
a good number. Terrible.
You love to see consistency, especially when it's horrible.
Yeah, I mean, he is the good thing for Saunders is he is going up against Minnesota. They're 25th in the league against lefties. Is this another game we're staying away from? Or
I don't know. I think you can find a lot of value in this game because you look at those 2 lineups, and there's actually a lot of hitters on those lineups that you can trust. You can go both ways, too. Minnesota and Texas both have guys I'm looking at. For Texas, Alex Rios, Adrian Beltre, Mitch Moreland. I think that you can find quite a bit of value in there. Rios and Beltre are up over 8,000, though, so, you got to really love it.
I mean, if you got some value pitchers to play in there, obviously you can spend some money, but...
Yeah, and look at Minnesota's side. Josh Willingham's back from injury. They got Arcia back from the Red Wings, so their outfield's kind of stacking up now as they
from the who? The Rochester Red Wings.
Shout out to the Red Wings.
Local Red Wings.
I saw that they had the lowest ERA in the minor leagues this year.
Oh, good for them.
So they're
shout out to the Rochester Red Wings.
Good for you.
Yeah, good on you guys.
Absolutely.
All right, so we're finding a little bit of value in that game with some not so good pitching. More not so good pitching. TJ House is going against Hector Noesi, who we slammed last week, and for good reason. He got destroyed by everybody on the Yankees.
Yeah, he didn't have a very strong game, that's for sure.
I think they actually won. I think Chicago won that game too.
Noesi had a decent game last game.
Yeah, but
Come on. What are we saying? What are you
He got
calling
ripped up
decent
For his
here?
standards.
yeah, there you go.
Okay, all right.
He let up 3 runs in like 4 innings.
Yeah,
Good-
so
good
he
for
didn't
you.
do as terribly as we were calling
Right.
for, but he was not
All right.
strong.
So far this season, TJ House only has 2 starts. Bad against lefties, bad against righties. Obviously, Hector Noesi bad against both. I kind of love everything to do with the Cleveland Indians because they're third against righties, and I would stack basically most of the middle of their order against Noesi.
I'm stacking the White Sox tomorrow.
I really don't think you can go wrong either way.
I honestly, I would
consider.
consider a game stack for this game,
Yeah.
which is picking as many as humanly possible.
White Sox WOBA against left-handed pitching. They're 8th in the majors at 323.
Solid.
And they have a lot of good power righties in their lineup.
Who would you take from the Sox?
From the Sox, I'm looking at Viciedo, kind of mid-level guy, Beckham, value guys, Tyler Flowers, or Paul Konerko, who's sitting at the base bottom, 3,500 minimum.
Right on. Yeah. I mean, for Cleveland, you can go kind of top to bottom. Michael Brantley, David Murphy, who I don't really understand. He's batting lower in the order. Is there a reason for that?
Not really, but they've been shifting up their lineup so much. Cleveland's in bad, but
Yeah, their lineup's been all over the place.
yeah,
Yeah. And then Chisenhall's actually been batting 4th most of the time. He's batting 371 this year.
he's having a great season.
He's having a great season. So,
Not getting Yanny in there?
Huh?
Yan Gomes?
Well, yeah, you can do that as well.
He's a righty, but
I know, but he's played really well, though. I've put him in a couple spot starts. He's been great.
Yeah.
Fills,
So,
fills a need at a position that's kind of hard to fill, actually.
full game stack, huh?
Yeah, why not? It
going
happens
hard.
sometimes. Another guy I'm attacking really hard is Liam Hendricks. Tampa Bay at Toronto. Hendricks, in his last start, not good whatsoever. Gives up a lot of home runs in his career. I mentioned this last time. 1.68 in his entire career, home runs per 9.
well, mistake last time was stacking the A's against him because they did not do anything.
Bad.
Hendricks only allowed 1 run against Oakland, which made me a little angry.
Yeah, that didn't.
But
that wouldn't happen.
in his career, I mean, he hasn't been great. I like Matt Joyce a lot tomorrow night.
I was going to say, there's a couple of value picks that you can find right around that 5,500 to 6,000 range. DeJesus and James Loney are 2 options as well.
Lefties.
All
Gotta have
lefties.
some lefties, yep.
Yep. I don't know how to feel about Chris Archer, though. He's nothing special, but he could actually get the win tomorrow. I don't know.
He's one guy I'm targeting tomorrow night.
Really?
Chris Archer?
He's had 2 great starts, his last 2. 12 innings pitched. He's 1-0. Only allowed 6 hits in those 12 innings and 16 strikeouts.
Toronto's
Yeah.
a really hard team to go against.
They are,
They got
but
some power throughout their lineup.
They do have a lot of righties in their lineup, which is one thing I'm looking at. He had a decent start against them earlier this year. So
That makes sense. All right, another guy we got to talk about really quickly. Colorado, obviously, we talk about them for their offense, but Jordan Lyles, I think, is a pretty good value pitcher. Right below 11,000 on StarFantasyLeagues.com, going up against Philadelphia on the road. They can't hit. They can't hit righties. They just can't really hit in general this year. They've been kind of down. What do you think about him on the road?
it's not a bad pick.
No.
No,
I mean, you got to save some money if you want to get one of the
Well,
bigger
he's
names.
also he's probably going to get a ton of run support from that offense. So.
What do you mean probably? He's definitely going to get some run
Okay,
support.
yeah. So I mean, you get a pitcher that gets a lead. A lot of times you can get comfortable, get into a groove. You don't have to worry about much. I think he's definitely worth a start.
Yeah, we saw Philadelphia's lack of offense on Sunday against Josh Beckett. But Colorado's, their offense has been disappointing me the last few games. They really have not been doing anything.
They got shut down against San Francisco in that series. They weren't scoring until, even when they were, it was the late innings.
Well, they have a couple of injuries too. Cargo and now Nolan Arenado too. Cargo just came back though, so we'll see.
All right, there's a lot to talk about Wednesday, but we're not done. We're coming back after the break, and we're giving you our every single value play possible for Wednesday on StarFantasyLeagues.com, and you're listening to the Star Fantasy League show on 105.5 The Team.
You're listening to the Star Fantasy League show. Contact the StarFantasyLeagues.com guys via Twitter at SFL Show.
We are back on the Star Fantasy League show, and before the break, I said we weren't done just yet with MLB Wednesday on StarFantasyLeagues.com. That's because we didn't give you our plays of the day. We're giving you a batter. We're giving you a pitcher. Sometimes we're giving you a value hitter as well, but always a stack. We love stacks.
Love stacks.
And for those of you who don't know what stack is, it's putting up to 4 of the same hitters from a team into a lineup. That's the maximum you can do on StarFantasyLeagues.com. Nick, start us off. Who do you like?
All right, my batter of the day. I'm going to go a little bit under the radar. I'm going to go with Adam LaRoche. He's right in that 8,500 range. He's going up against Tom Kohler from Miami. Just got back from injury. He hit a homer yesterday, and I think that this lineup is in desperate need of a little LaRoche. So I'm going to go with him. My pitcher of the day is going to be John Lackey against Atlanta. Atlanta strikes out a heck of a lot, and I think Lackey's been the most consistent pitcher on Boston's roster. And I'm going to steal it from you guys before you even get a chance. Stack the Dodgers tomorrow, and my value play will be Andre Ethier because he is filling in for Matt Kemp, 4,200.
I love how you tried to steal that. That was not my stack of the day.
All right.
That was not my stack. I don't think it was his stack either.
It was not.
Look at that. You thought you were stealing. You actually weren't.
Man, all right.
I'm going to go next. The whole thing about the value pitcher, it doesn't have to be the guy you think is going to get the most money. It could be that. It could also be who you think is going to get the most bang for the buck. That's why I actually like Jordan Lyles for Colorado going up against Philadelphia, who hasn't hit well all season.
At all.
They're just not that good. I think Lyles could, this isn't in Colorado, so you don't have to worry about crazy balls flying at every 5 seconds. Lyles is super inexpensive, under $11,000 right now on StarFantasyLeagues.com. For hitter, I love Michael Brantley. I've said it a million times. Just stack the lefties on Cleveland, but I really don't want to go with Cleveland. Screw it. I'm going with Cleveland. That's my stack.
Cleveland stack?
I'm going back and forth because, the Dodgers would probably be my stack. But.
Engines.
All right, who do you got?
My batter of the day is Adrian Gonzalez.
Oh, look, there we go. There's the stack in the Dodgers again.
Yep.
Loving the Dodgers tomorrow against the Reds. Gonzalez's WOBA against right-handed pitching this year, he's 10th in the majors at 425.
And for a little reference point, I think it's 370 is well above average.
Yeah,
and like
so
400 is like elite.
He's killing it against the righties this year, especially at home. Pitcher of the day, staying with the Dodgers, Clayton Kershaw. Gotta love him.
See, you should have let him have the stack for the Dodgers, so he could have said all Dodgers all the time. You stole it from him. That's not cool, man.
We said they're dead last against left-handed pitching this year. Cincinnati hitters are only hitting 215 off them. Stacking the White Sox, I'm feeling that they're going to house TJ House.
They're going to house TJ House. I love that.
House.
So what do we think the possibility is of Clayton Kershaw complete game tomorrow night?
Not likely.
Not likely?
Maybe 8 innings.
Really? Hold on. Against somebody like Homer Bailey, do you really think Madeline's going to trot him out there for 8 or 9 innings when you know this game is going to be over by 5 innings?
The only reason I say that is coming off injury. He threw a lot of pitches out last time.
Fair enough.
He should get a lot of strikeouts, though. Not a lot of hits. And my value play of the day is Matt Joyce for Tampa Bay, going against Hendricks. So small sample size, only 2 for 2 with 1 home run, but he's coming around 5,500.
Look at that. Getting a little bit of value, getting some stack of the day, getting some batter and some pitcher of the day. We got a lot to talk about every single day, Monday through Friday on the Star Fantasy League Show. Tweet us at SFL Show if you want to ask us a question. If you have a conundrum between 2 guys you like, 2 pitchers you like, just send them both our way. We'll respond on Twitter, or we'll get to your questions live on the air each day.
Doesn't all have to be about fantasy too. We have basketball playoffs and NHL playoffs. We all love it. So if you just want to chat to us about that, please feel free. We're on Twitter every night when the games are going on.
That is right. Do not confuse the word Star Fantasy League Show. It's all about sports. If you want to ask us any questions, we're always around. Give you $5 free to get started on StarFantasyLeagues.com. Just tweet us at SFL Show. $5 free in your account, thousands of dollars in guaranteed prize pools every single day. Today is the best day to get involved in daily fantasy sports. If you haven't started playing, Rochester, come on. Today's the day.
Was that Rochester?
I didn't say it. I did not say
$50 free roll today.
Yeah, that's true. We got a $50 free roll. It kicked off. We
Still got time.
Tuesday and Thursday. Got to get involved. 7 o'clock start time. And if you're in desperate need of a little LaRoche, we'll help you make a better team next time.